This episode proudly underwritten by Bashwinger Insurance Agency, 42 Cornell Street, Amsterdam, New York.
Hello, and welcome to Episode 7 of Any Good Thing, written by Jay Town. In Episode 6, Charity's adoptive mother, Mildred, passed away, and Charity prepared for her funeral. To begin this episode, Charity and her birth mother, Marisol, are riding home from the service. We see them in the funeral car.
I'm very proud of you, dear.
Why?
For going through this so resolutely.
I'm not through it yet.
Yes, for what you have done thus far in letting others know your mother.
Charity stares out the window.
Just a little while longer and you'll be better. How many people will be at your house?
Just you and me, Derek, his family, and Uncle Dan.
None of her friends?
No, I couldn't bear them. Too busy for her in life. Why not now?
Later at Charity's house, Marisol walks over to talk with Derek.
Derek, Charity tells me you are religious, a Catholic.
Yes, been one all my life, but went away for the last few years.
But now you are back?
Yes, for good this time. I just need to stay focused more.
You and Charity seem to be more similar than she first believed.
How so?
You are both seekers of truth, of love, of God. She is just looking in a different direction, that's all.
It's easy to get lost.
Yes. I don't know what she is going to do now that she lost her job.
She lost her job?
Quit, actually. Yesterday.
Oh my.
Not many radio jobs in town for her, I imagine.
I'll have to talk with her.
I'll leave you two alone.
Charity is talking to Caroline.
I thought it was very touching during the words of remembrance when you told about being a wild child.
Yeah, I nearly lost it there. She was always so patient with me, like she had been through this with a daughter before. But I was an only child, so how could she have known?
It must have been God. Life teaches when we least expect it. You must be sick of hearing about God, coming from your background.
I was actually raised a Christian, but don't exactly believe like that anymore.
Derek noses into the conversation.
There's the original wild child.
You talking about me?
No, me.
Charity, can I ask you a question?
Uh-oh, a serious question. I'm out of here.
He pulls her aside.
Did you quit your job?
Mother. Yes, Derek, I did. Yesterday. Why?
Why?
Because my boss made it plain it was her station or my family, and I chose family.
But you have no family left here. The closest family you have...
Derek, let's talk this over somewhere else, sometime else, in private, please. This is clearly a sensitive issue.
Fine.
He leaves her to her guests and goes outside. Soon the guests prepare to leave.
Bye, Charity. Call if you need anything. Marisol?
Derek pulls Charity aside.
I know this is not over for you, so I won't pressure you. Call me when you can, okay?
Okay.
They hug, and Charity is left alone with Marisol.
What did you say to him?
That you quit your job, that's all. You were going to tell him, weren't you?
Of course, when I needed to.
Why so secretive?
Not secretive, just careful. You weren't the person to tell him.
I was only looking out for your best interests. He would have found out anyway.
Look, just because I was looking into employment elsewhere doesn't mean anything. I told him as much last week.
Then why the upset?
I don't want you interfering with me and Derek. What happens between me and him will be as I want, not you. You've been very helpful over the past few days, but that won't stop me from asking you to leave if you stop helping.
So you want me to leave?
No, I want you to play nice.
I can play nice.
Honestly, Mom, go ahead and go if you want. I can manage.
I'll stay as long as you need me.
Guilt, guilt, guilt. I appreciate what you've done for me here, but I think I can manage. I love you, but go ahead and go. Tell your long-suffering husband I said hello.
All right, if you say so.
Marisol packs, and they load the car.
Remember, I love you like you were one of my own.
Really, Marisol? I love you, Mom. Thanks for coming on such short notice. You've been a big help.
Always trying to help you. Love you too. Bye.
Charity watches Marisol drive away, then heads back into the house. She goes to the bookcase, lifts the picture of her mom, Mildred, and sets it upright, then walks into the kitchen crying and collapses. Time passes in a haze of tears and grief. She raises herself up.
Mama, what am I going to do now? I miss you so much. My mom, my everything. You raised me to be strong, and I'm not. I can't stand this useless. How can I endure like you raised me? How can I be strong for you?
She lays back down.
I know. Back to basics.
Later the next day, Derek calls Charity.
Yes? Derek? Oh, Derek, I'm glad to hear you.
Gee, that's nice.
I collapsed yesterday on the kitchen floor.
Are you okay now? Where are you?
Home, yes.
I'm coming right over, okay? Right now.
Well, Derek.
He races to get ready and rushes out the door. 15 minutes later, he arrives winded at Charity's door.
Hi, Derek.
Who are you?
My name is Elena.
They shake hands.
I've heard so much about you, and I was just leaving. Sweetheart, let me know if you need anything.
I will, thanks.
Derek enters and goes to Charity, who is sitting on the couch. He sits next to her.
Hi.
Hi, I'm fine. Just a little knot in my head.
Was it a concussion?
I doubt it. I'm fine now. I'm glad you're here.
Why did you collapse?
I was standing in the kitchen, and my legs just gave out on me.
I know, but why?
I had just sent my now only mom away because I was annoyed with her. And I was thinking how I chase everyone away sooner or later. And then I thought, what if she gets in an accident and dies? What then? Then, whoosh, down I went.
You haven't chased me away.
Yet.
You won't. You can't.
We'll see. I'm sorry my mom told you about me quitting my job. It wasn't her place.
She was just being helpful.
Was she? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. In any case, I was planning on talking about my career choices with you soon, but then my mom passed, and you know.
Yes, but why would your career choices affect me?
I may be leaving this town.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Derek. I told you a little last week.
Is that why you quit your job? Really? Because you have better options?
It must have factored in somehow, but mostly Janet, my boss, my ex-boss, pushed me too far with her autocratic my way or the highway attitude, trying to bully me. So I just said forget it, it's not worth the money. I also have this idea that I would be more appreciated elsewhere in another job.
What will you do now?
I need to make a decision. If I have enough reason to stay, or do I pick up and go somewhere else?
And now with Mildred gone, God rest her soul, you have even less reason to stay.
I still have the house that my father paid for before he willed it to me, my friends, almost 30 years of memories, and then there's you. I hope you are not offended by this, but I don't know what to do with you. I mean, I have known you for less than a month, and you have affected me greatly since we met.
How so?
We have both suffered great loss in our lives, but we both have rebounded. Oh, I hate that phrase. We both have weathered the storms. Oh, I hate cliches. What I'm trying to say is that we are significantly alike, with enough differences to make life together interesting. If we stay together. Sorry.
Point taken.
Also, you have taught me great lessons on endurance, faith, and love that I might not have learned otherwise, at least not in this time frame. And this celebration service wouldn't have been the same without you.
I, for one, have grown accustomed to your face.
Oh, that's sweet. But what do you really feel?
If you go, I will always care for you. Your outgoing nature, your humor, your religious sensibilities. Even though you are not religious, you still seek the truth, and in that way we would be good together. And I have never moved away from home, or left loved ones and their memories behind. I have been left, so I would understand your choice.
It's just life, right? We live, we die, and in the middle we move around in circles.
I view life as a straight line, with deviations, but all moving toward a final destination, helped by God, and every move we make away from the center eventually brings us back to the center, toward God.
I like that. Are you thirsty? I've got some green tea.
Not Long Island iced tea?
No, but I could doctor some up for you.
No thanks, to the Long Island part.
They move into the kitchen.
I had to cancel my surgery.
Did you reschedule?
Not with all this uncertainty. The new elephant in the room. I am still in pain, in case you would like to know. I deal with it as best I can.
I hope you can reschedule soon. It's important.
We'll see. One thing my mother's death taught me is that everything's important, that equal care should be applied to all situations, something I seem to fail at equally.
Your mother's passing showed the grace that lies within you, that all the while grieving, you managed her funeral.
Most of that was prearranged. I didn't do much organizationally.
Still, you held other people together. You were the glue to this celebration service.
I didn't do much celebrating. I guess I didn't quite understand.
The service is a way of thinking about life, and grief, and Christ's victory over death. When you are a child and you know you are going to a theme park, you are happy, right?
So heaven is Disney World. Have you ever been? It's bright and cheerful and crowded and frustrating if you don't get on your ride within...
Okay, bad analogy. Think of any goal you have and the feeling you get when you achieve it, and the feelings of those you love when you receive your prize. That is what celebration of life is all about.
So I'm supposed to jump for joy when I finish washing my car, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Despite your awkward attempts to explain it, I think I understand. At least a little. You know, I'm not trying to prove anything with my understanding or sensibilities. I'm not pushy with my beliefs.
I do like that about you.
My favorite quote is from the Dalai Lama. He says, "My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness, and I have striven to show the best of myself, my compassion and care, to all equally. It makes it easier to sleep at night."
That's what I noticed in your words of remembrance, where you said you loved your mom's easy grace.
Yeah.
It must have rubbed off on you, so to speak, because one of your characteristics is grace. The definition of grace, according to the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language, is...
Are you going to quote it?
Grace. Seemingly effortless beauty or charm. That truncated description of you is apt.
My. I haven't been read the dictionary since college. Very impressive.
I've been working on my memory exercises.
What about that other thing? What was it? Your contract?
Yeah, I have another week to finish that before my appointment with Dr. Lowry. It's going to be difficult to stick to, but I am going to do it.
If you stick to your guns, you'll find it gets easier as time goes on. I believe in you, that you are a well-meant, honest, caring person, that you are resourceful and diligent when asked. You can do anything if you choose.
I never knew you felt that way about me and my abilities.
I knew it since we sat on the bench. That's why it hurts me to leave you in limbo like I have.
Don't worry about me. Whatever happens, I'll get by. Just like always.
I'll need to know that you'll do more than get by.
Of course I will. What you said.
Derek, it's getting late. Have you eaten lately?
A little before I came over.
I can fix a little something.
She stands with difficulty, then sits abruptly.
My head.
I'll do it. Can you make it to the island? Here, take my hand. Those cold cuts make a good sandwich with very little assistance from me. That's the way I like it.
I know you can cook, so don't be that way. Listen, why don't you stay over tonight and go with me tomorrow to pay Father and Nelson? I have a spare room, as you know, so we won't have to talk about sex, and you can help me to the church in the morning. What do you say?
Let me check my schedule. It just so happens I'm free tomorrow, and the next day, and the next.
I just need tomorrow.
Fine.
They finish their meal, clean up, and head to the bedrooms.
Before you go, I wanted to thank you for being you for me.
I should thank you.
I know, but this is my time, so hush. Seriously, you have taught me a lot, and I am grateful.
It's no problem.
She hugs him.
You know where the spare bedroom is. I'm going to make it to my room and see you bright and early, okay?
Okay.
Fine.
Charity closes her bedroom door.
Everything changes. Everything remains the same. I've told him, and he seems okay. But can I keep him in my corner no matter what? Will I continue to miss you as I do? Or will you fade like the day? And will I sleep at all tonight? No matter what, Mom, I love you.
They awaken the next morning, dress, and have breakfast, during which time Derek convinces Charity to walk to St. Joseph's instead of driving.
The cool morning air, the geese flying south.
The aftermath of head trauma. I see what you mean, walking man. This isn't bad. How many minutes to the church again?
A few, if we pick up the pace a little.
Pick up the pace. You're lucky I'm moving at this speed, Hughes.
Why so long after the service to pay the father?
My mom had instructions that said that I had to wait this long so that the father would take care of the needs of whoever wanted his counseling and instruction after her death. That's the first time I've said it like that. Sounded weird. She would always be the one to bandage me, to heal me.
Derek puts a hand on her shoulder and helps her along. In 15 minutes, they arrive at the church and go in to see Father Nelson.
Good morning. Come in, have a seat. What brings you here?
This is my final payment for Mildred's service, plus a little extra from me for your women's programs. It will go right to the program and not to the Mother Church's coffers, right?
Oh, yes, it will go right to the program, and thank you very much. It was a very nice celebration.
The homily was very good.
And your words of remembrance were very touching. A nice addition to the program.
It was beneficial for me to do it. I had all of these memories and nowhere to put them. I got some of them out, but I'm afraid more are taking their place.
And may do so for the rest of your life. You mustn't think of these memories as burdensome, but rather think of them as warm comfort from God.
Right now, they're sharp daggers.
But hopefully, soon, they will provide comfort for your loss and lessons for your future. Yes, lessons for your future. So, how long have you two been together?
About 3 weeks.
Or so.
Oh, it's good to take it slow. Build on the good things.
There are conflicts.
There are in most things of value.
This is only the second time I've been in a church in years.
Pity. You would have learned a great deal in that time had you been a regular visitor.
Like how to be a hypocrite.
Yes, you may have. Everyone is a hypocrite for wanting perfection and acting out so imperfectly. We believe the grace of God covers all sins and all imperfections if we live in it.
That's the catch, isn't it? Living in it.
There's the rub. The curse of humanity is the desire to sin and yet the need for greater glory, the glory of God. Take God out of the equation and mankind is miserable, sinking to ever lower depths. Take evil out of the equation and the opposite happens. Only love.
You need some talisman to ward off evil and a sacrifice to cover you when you commit it. If there is a God who is loving to his creation, these would not have to be.
The Word of God says that he has imprisoned mankind so that he may save us all. This imprisonment is death. Rather than allow us to live forever, suffering in sin, God limited us and sin's hold on us to a short lifetime. As always, God is merciful.
I see. Then all my suffering is my fault then, the result of my choices. Even if that were true, what can I do to affect myself and the immediate world around me?
We need to accept truth as we are shown it and then live by it. You have been shown certain truths which you live by. I can see your hunger for truth and your grace which you show to everyone.
That's what I said.
When you accept truth and live within its calling, then you will be blessed.
What is truth?
The truth is that God has always loved you, has always watched over you, and has always taught you.
I already love the things he says he loves.
Is there something holding you back from a deeper commitment?
Oh, no. No, listen. I'm afraid you will not be bringing me back into the fold, Father. I am just fine this way, without your guilt, your dogma. I'm afraid I don't fit your mold, Father. Father Nelson, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for a lovely service, but I need to go. Derek, are you coming?
I'm sorry if I've offended you, but you are always welcome to come back to talk. Derek?
Sorry, Father.
She walks out ahead of him and waits outside.
Why does it always come back down to that? The call to acceptance and worship. I can't believe he tried that on me.
They begin their walk.
It's his job and his calling.
Do you think that was necessary?
Yes, he is in the soul-winning business. Not strictly a business, a vocation, a calling.
You're making things worse. Just because you succumbed doesn't mean I have to endure that assault.
He puts his hand on hers and stops her.
You need to chill out. This offense is nothing. All he was trying to do was get you to decide. Just boiling it down to its basics, I believe everyone must decide a course of action. You have already chosen the right side, but you are incomplete. You need to evolve, and that's what he was trying to accomplish. But you are not ready for that choice.
I'm a good person.
It's evident you are, but maybe that's not enough.
They begin to walk again.
I know you're intense, and your actions, you prove it daily, so you'll find your answers.
Have you found your answers?
I have found enough to keep going on this path. The rest, I imagine, will come when I need them.
Derek, just days ago you were like me, with more questions than answers. Now, your faith has increased to the point that I hardly recognize it. Does that make sense?
A little. Does this make sense to you? I am merely trying to live up to my responsibilities and improve myself daily, and Christ helps me do that. All of my early life training I remember, and I'm trying to put it to use.
I have to applaud you there. I think you are doing much better than before, even days ago.
You are doing it too, but now you have a little interruption.
Are you serious? My mother's death, a little interruption? Really, Derek?
Sorry. What I mean is that when all is said and done, this event will affect you only as much as you allow it to.
That's better. You know, you may think that I'm dealing with my mother's death. There it is again. Well, but truth be told, I'm a mess.
Tell me.
There is a terrible knot of pure darkness growing inside me that I can't control because my mom, who was my goodness, is gone. And this loss pervades my breath, my thoughts, my very being. And I'm fearful that my emotions will implode, destroying me. And here I am making decisions in a vacuum, unaware of their consequences. Have you ever felt this?
Something similar with my dad's passing. I doubted myself then, too. But may I offer something? If you fear the darkness overcoming you, don't. Because when Mildred taught you lessons from life, she was instilling in you virtue and truth, which are indestructible qualities. The love of these qualities will sustain you through any change.
They approach Charity's house.
Are you feeling better?
Yes, surprisingly.
It's amazing what a good walk will do for you.
Can you come in for a while?
I don't know.
Really, Hughes? I'm walking wounded and you're apprehensive?
Okay.
They enter her house and make an early lunch. When finished, they sit at the counter and talk.
So, what do you say to him when he talks to you?
When he asks me questions?
He asks you questions. Out loud?
No, by impressions in my spirit. But I know what he is saying. I just answer him like he was there, because he is.
Derek, isn't that schizophrenia? Sorry, but isn't that the classical definition?
Science, I am sure, has some classification for it, but I call that label prayer or meditation.
With vocalizing. It's worthy of treatment. I'm just kidding. I know the power of the heavens talk to people. It's called inspiration, and it affects billions. Too many to treat.
Too many to lose.
Yes. 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 Yes, thank you.
You told him yes, didn't you?
What? Oh, that was a station in Brooklyn. Marisol got me an interview there tomorrow.
Tomorrow? When did Marisol talk to them?
Derek, come on. You're winding up.
Last week it must have been. She works fast.
Come on. She is my only mother left.
And she means well, I suppose.
She sits down next to him.
So do you. And I know you don't handle change very well.
Does anybody?
No. Change is frightening, daunting. But we need to make our way through it, as best we can, to see its benefits.
I'm upset because you seem to have betrayed me with your planning and contacting stations outside of this area. I know it was Marisol for this station, but have you contacted other stations?
Yes, in Rochester and Scranton.
You see, how could I not feel betrayed? It is almost like, with the one hand you were stringing me along,
Derek.
and on the other hand, planning our demise. Like you treated our relationship, such as it is, as being worth second-hand effort on your part. Like you didn't have to even try because you knew it would fail.
Derek, listen.
She takes his hand. He takes it back.
I didn't mean to slight or betray you. I was just feeling like I should explore my options, with or without you, with or without my mother, because I didn't know what would fail first. It seems a little mercenary, in light of your feelings now, but I was losing my way, my bearings, and I needed to get a good frame of reference for the decisions I knew I would have to make sooner or later. That's all it was. And I tried to tell you last week at the falls, and we got sidetracked, as we usually do.
So I shouldn't feel bad that our relationship is ending?
It's not ending, Derek, just changing.
Into what?
I don't know. It remains to be seen. A good, mutually beneficial relationship, I would hope. Anything we make it. Let's go for a walk. Come on.
They set out through the neighborhood, talking about their past together and their futures. They wind up, as always, at their favorite bench.
Every time I pass this bench, I sit on it and thank the spirit of chance for bringing you here that day. Sometimes I sit for merely seconds, sometimes longer, remembering my good fortune.
I thank God for you every day. Our meeting, our time together. I don't think I would have progressed as much as I have. But here we are, changing.
If I get another job elsewhere, how will you function? I'm not being facetious. I mean, how will you cope? Not how will you cope, but in what way will you function?
You mean who will I rely on to help me live, right?
They sit.
Yes, I guess so.
I think I will rely on the love of my family for support, my counselor for help with my mental, physical care, Father Nelson for spiritual guidance, and my Heavenly Father for love and acceptance.
Sounds like you've got it covered. You don't really need anyone else, do you?
I think I will always need someone else. It's how I'm made.
Not celibate.
I don't think I could do that long term, just until I found someone to be with. How about you?
She shakes her head.
No, definitely not celibate.
It's not a matter of if, it's when, right?
Being celibate? Finding someone?
Leaving.
Oh, yes, it is. It's not personal, my decision. But I am an ideologue, and I don't know where I got that quality. Definitely not from Marisol. Probably from Mildred. I'm looking for perfection. In men, in a job, in a boss, in love. And if I don't get it, I panic and I dump whoever isn't living up to my expectations. My whole life I've done this. And, for better or worse, it has led me to great and wonderful revelations about everything. So, I will let that drive be, for now, until it stops serving my interests. Then I will shed it like yesterday's clothes.
Wow. I was only beginning to see glimpses of that. Now I know. And I don't meet your expectations?
You, sir, meet all my expectations, now that I've lowered them.
What?
What I mean is, a while after meeting you, you started showing characteristics that your charm couldn't hide. Vanity, anger, dependency. But I also saw grace, compassion, and faith. So I was faced with a choice, either dumping you or adapting my hitherto stringent measures of worth to fit the situation, and a man who was infinitely worthy of love.
So why are you dumping me now?
I'm not really. I still want to communicate with you. I mean, talk to you, text. Oh, you don't text, do you?
Very slowly.
I'll be in touch. I'll be back and forth to the house.
Until you sell it, right?
It depends.
And you will visit, right?
Of course. Unless I get so involved in my job and forget about everything in Amsterdam.
Not funny.
Oh, laugh a little, Hughes. Life is short. If we don't laugh, we cry. And who needs that?
I don't want to be angry with you forever, or at all. I wished things were different, and they are different. That is, they're changing, and I can't alter that, and that makes me sad.
Change is good, Derek.
There is a time for every season under heaven, right?
Right. Embrace it.
The bright sun chased intermittent clouds away as the couple joined hands and listened to the flocks of geese as they made their way south. Thank you for listening to Any Good Thing. Please tune in again. The cast for this episode includes John Salerno as Derek Hughes, Jessica O'Connell as Charity Rodriguez, Kathy Ozug as Marisol Pollock, Laura Lee Whitlock as Carolyn Peterson, Karen Altieri as Elena Hutchins, Phil Sheehan as Father Nelson, and Scott W. Fields as the narrator.